Greetings and welcome to the Halloween edition of the Sliders Review. And I'm here today to talk to you about Goosebumps. Welcome to Deadhouse. This is one of my all-time favorite Goosebumps episodes. I love it to death. I love the atmosphere. I love the location. It is classic Goosebumps location for such a disturbing episode. That's something I really admire. That's something that the Haunting Hour really lacked, especially in the first season. They didn't go to no different locations. It was always the same street, the same neighborhood, and the same houses. I really loved the spooky vibe. I loved how dark this episode was. It did premiere at night, I believe. And not only that, but it's an hour special. Normally when they're an hour special, they are extremely good. Now an hour special is completely different from a two-parter. It doesn't really feel like there's any difference, but of course, one's an hour and one's broken up in two pieces. And it amazes me how much they can get done on Goosebumps. Because sometimes it's like you can watch an episode and you can feel satisfied for just a 20-minute episode. But some of them just need to be stretched out just a little bit longer. And they need that 40-minute runtime. And, the Deadhouse came out beautifully and everything because of that extra runtime. Sometimes I do wish all Goosebump episodes were like 40 minutes because it makes you wonder now, what all are you missing, And also, of course, they added some stuff into this episode, changed it from the book. And, like the whole reef thing, they added that into the show. And this came out in the second season, and second season really started to amp up and started bringing out some better books. The book is extremely popular as well. And what made this hour special so great is that they actually showed the monster. And I forget what it's called. I think it's Fever Swamp or something like that. My only complaint about that entire episode is you never really see the movie monster in that. And it's and because of that, it lets it down a little bit, not too much, but just like a little. But in this one, we see the monsters and everything, and I couldn't believe, there's a reason why this in the hour special came on at night because it deals with zombies, and the zombies are literally trying to eat a family and everything. And that's pretty hardcore for Goosebumps and everything. Yeah, like How to Kill a Monster had a monster trying to kill the kids. But even though the costume of the monster was cool, it still looked a little goofy and everything. But these people look like straight up zombies and everything. And it's more scarier when they look human and stuff. That's something I appreciate about old school vampires when they just look like humans with fangs. To me, that's more scarier than when their face shifts and changes into more of a monstrous thing. Welcome to the Deadhouse has a great cast and everything. Like Ben Cook plays Josh, I know, and he appears in another Goosebump episode. Well, actually two, I think. Maybe one or two. I can't remember. I know one for sure. Shocker on Shock Street. Now, ironically, everybody else in this episode only appeared in this episode only, which is quite a shame. I really wanted to see some more recur, especially the one who plays Amanda. Amanda is so adorable in this episode. She has this cute little bob hair. She puts these little not really so much a pigtail, but like barrettes in her hair and stuff like that. She has this soft quality to her voice, and she just seems so innocent and cool. I remember watching that when I was a teenager growing up, thinking just how cool Amanda was, because she was she was more laid back and she wasn't as annoying as Josh, but Josh is justified for his annoyance, I think. And even though she is irritated being there, she has a more of an upbeat spirit and everything, not trying to be as aggravating as Josh. But I understand Josh's aggravation. I would be aggravated as well. It's like, they're from like, I don't know exactly where they're from, and it's never stated, but they have to move to an old, like, hick town. And like I said, locations, my God, the location is like amazing for this kid's horror show. They really found a great location. The buildings that they pass by really look abandoned. It's so cool. You gotta give it up to the people. Like, I would have loved been like a kid or a teenager on a Goosebumps show, going to these exotic locations, running and screaming in the woods. I mean, that's like the best job ever as a kid or teenager, And I really wish for some of the Goosebump kids, not the ones who made it famous because they made it famous, but the ones who didn't, like, man, I just wish they could have like had a bigger shot in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? Because till this day, like I said before, if you are a Goosebumper for life, if you are an adult who love Goosebumps and still watch it till this day, just like me, you wonder what happened to the cast and everything. You want to see what they look like now. And it sucks that some of them have like just completely disappeared off the face of the earth. Like, they don't act no more. They don't have social media. They don't do like nothing. And it sucks because people want to know what happened to you. Like, these were our rock stars of the 90s, you know what I'm saying? These were our Van Halens and our like Brett Michaels and our like, In Vogue and like Michael Jacksons and stuff like that. And these were our like rock stars and everything. And the mom, she still acts to this day. I've talked about this before. She's on a show called From. It's on, I don't even remember the network is on. I got like a free trial and everything. I don't even remember what it is. Epic, I think. Epic Now, I think that's what it's called. And she was, the lady in that, and I didn't even recognize her at first and stuff. And it was so cool that she still works. I don't know about the dad. I don't know if he still works. I know the redheaded girl. I think she still works. I'm not 100% sure. I think she has social media. I think I'm not 100% sure. And I just can't express just how cool this episode is. So basically, it's classic R.L. Stein. It's a family. They have to move from where they love, and then they move into a very like rundown, exotic looking location that irritates the family and everything. They move out into the country, into a very, very small, tight knit town. The house they move in is very run down looking. It does not look all that appealing because the grass isn't cut. The bushes are looking nappy and everything. Well, the bushes look bushy, what you say. Like, the house has a dim color to it. Like, it's dirty looking. It's dirty in the inside. And like classic R.L. Stein, the parents, they love the house, but the kids, they hate the house. Now, in the book, they inherit it from an uncle. But here, the dad just wants to get away and like, write like a novel. I think he lost his job where he was at before, and they had to find like a cheaper place. And this house is very, very, very cheap. And he just wants to write his novel. But we never see him write his novel. So this subplot just makes no sense. Now, they should have just went with the book and said they inherited from an uncle. He could have lost his job, can't pay his mortgage, and now he has a cheaper house that's already paid for. Perfect setup, you know what I'm saying? So there's really no point in adding the whole he wants to write a novel if, like, we don't get to see him write a novel and everything. Josh is very, 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 very irritated to have to move here, and he's whining and complaining the entire car ride there. His whining is justified. Normally when these kids whine and Goosebumps, they always get on my nerves, but his is totally justified. Not like the one in Welcome to Horrorland. That boy was just annoying. And stuff. And Amanda's just keeping quiet. And the dad thinks, oh, she's totally okay with this, but she's all like, not really, and everything. When they move in, they have really not much of anything. The movers are moving all the stuff in. They put up the reef, that's the subplot for the episode, but never the books. They have to sleep on bed mattresses because the frames aren't there yet. And they like when you go into Amanda's room and when she's there at night writing a letter to her best friend at home. Writing a letter because the internet was around back then, email was around back then, but they was old fashioned and they don't have the internet in that town. And there were and cell phones, not a lot of people had them at that time. So she had to do the old school thing and write a letter. The early 90s, boy, I tell you. Remember pen pals? You had to write them in like on piece of paper and stuff. Not like that no more. I don't know people have pen pals now with the whole internet and social media and stuff. There's no point in having a pen pal now. But having a pen pal back in the day was very special. Having to write, they make us like write to people in another country. And that was really interesting. I don't even know if the person ever wrote me back. I don't remember, to tell you the truth. Anyways, but before they go into the house and everything, the dad specifies, "Oh, you're gonna love it when like you see it," indicating that the rest of the family has not even seen the house. Only the dad has, and in the book is completely different. And so Amanda sees a boy standing in her like room in the window and stuff. It's like, who the heck is this boy? And why is he in her house? And that's the strange mystery of it all. He's just like, in the house. When they go in and she goes in the room, she is scared because there's Mr. Dawes in there. He is the realtor and stuff. So he's all like, oh, that must have been me. You saw like, in the house. Now the man's appearance is very odd. He's very pale looking. He's very, very like muted type clothes. And so all throughout this episode, you constantly see strange stuff happening in the house. And it is a mystery. Your mind is literally asking yourself, who the heck are all these people wandering around in the house at night? Who is the strange hand that busts through like the basement door that's outside and picked up the loose money and stuff? Like, who is in this house? Because we don't know that it's zombies at first. We won't know until the end of the episode. So it's kind of like, well, are they ghosts or something like that? And then when Amanda is sleeping in her room, there's a girl, pale skin, face is a little messed up because there's like some weird things on her face that look bumpy and stuff. She's wearing an all black dress. She's looking pretty ghouly and everything. And she warns Amanda, get out the house. Get out the house. And I'm like, man, if I would have been Amanda, I would have screamed too. And of course, when she tells everybody in the house, our family, they don't believe her. Then she hears a noise one night. She opens up her closet, her and her dad. Somebody punched a hole through the wall of like her closet. The dad boards it up. Then the very next night, somebody repunched a hole in that same spot where he put the drywall board. And now he is starting to wonder and suspect, well, who the heck is coming in and out the house? As they're in the closet trying to examine, Petey, the dog, he finds a newspaper. The newspaper, I don't know how long ago the newspaper is, but it literally says that there was like, a chemical factory. It was an explosion. And so the dad tells the realtor, why didn't you tell us this? Like, this is something we should have known. Cause it could be chemicals in the air. And they all like, oh no, man, we tested the soil and the water and the air. Everything's fine. But in the books, it's a plastic factory, not a chemical factory. But it makes sense for it to be a chemical factory. But then again, plastics use a lot of chemicals, but I like the chemical factory thing better. And so whenever the kids go wandering around town, they see some people and everything. They try to be friendly. They try to say hey to this man working in his garage. And he just doesn't say nothing to him. Nobody in that town will really speak to him and stuff. But then when the man looks up, he sees the sun and he gets scared from the sun. But why? And everything. And then so like at some point in time, the kids are like walking. They're kind of like in the woods a little bit. And they see a group of kids. And the kids see them. And the kids are kind of freaky, almost like Children of the Corn kind of freaky. And like the kids just start hovering around Josh and Amanda and Petey. Like they literally like block them off where they can't like get out of that hurdle and stuff. And then they're broken up by a boy named Ray. He comes in with the hat. And so Amanda's all like, hey, I know you. You was in my house. And he's all like, what? I was in your house? He's all like, I ain't been in that house in a long time. Now, when I used to live there. And so she's just kind of like, well, hold up. You used to live in my house? So then it's kind of like the intrigue is building. You're getting more interesting as to what the heck is going on. And so, like, and the kids, they're so creepy looking. They're so pale, and everybody's wearing grayish black clothes. It's a weird town, and everybody has a hat on for some bizarre reason. It's only the Benson family that has some color. And there's a girl with pigtails and red hair. I forget her name, but her mom went to, like, the Benson's house. Now, just to give you a little heads up on that, when that girl went to the Benson's house, the mother is very friendly, but she's very pale. And then they see the wreath, and she's freaked out by the wreath. Not sure why. The wreath is supposed to be good luck, but the mom is the only one who likes it, and the other rest of the family don't. So, anyways, the kids want to play baseball, but then they see the sun is coming out. Because it must be early in the morning or something. And now the sun is about to start coming out more. So Ray's all like, all right, y'all, let's beat it. And Josh is kind of weirded out. He's like, it's a perfect time to play baseball. The sun is coming out. But the kids hightail it on out of there. Weird. And so when you're watching this, like I said before, you don't know there's zombies, but you don't know what the world's going on. You know what I'm saying? I'm in my mind, I'm thinking maybe like ghost vampires or something. Like, I don't know, you know? And then so one day, Petey, he just runs off and everything. This really upsets Josh. And Josh and his dad are arguing, and he goes after Petey. Amanda goes after because Josh is really young. Now you gotta remember, they ain't lived in this house for too long and they don't know the neighborhood. So them running off, they could easily get lost. And that's what happens. They end up in a cemetery. And so Josh is all like, whatever, I'm going in there. And so he goes in there. So they're walking around the woods, the creepy woods. And then they overhear some people talking. Now, speaking of a cemetery, when I watched this episode yesterday, because it's been a good while since I watched it, and I love this episode. But when I watched it, I thought of something for the very first time. Cemeteries. Like, we all have them in our cities and everything, and there are tons of bodies there, right? But think about it. The earth has been around for billions and trillions of years, right? And mankind has been around for millions of years, right? Now, country and religious figure, they have their own burial situation. Some bury them in the ground. Back in the olden days, they throw them out to sea. Some people get cremated, like whatever, you know. But think about it. For all the people who's been buried in the ground, where are all their tombstones at? Like, think about it. Like, just think about it in your own country. If your country is the one that buries people in the ground, where are all these bodies at? Like, and tombstones and stuff. Don't you think we would have ran out of, like, land by now? Because think about it. When I say think about it, I mean go back hundreds of thousands of years and stuff, you know? Or at least go back 400 years for us, or 600, maybe like 1,000 in America. Like, go back 1,000 years in America. Where are all these dead bodies? And there's supposed to be millions of people in America. So that's like 1 million per like 100 years. Where are all these bodies at? You'd think you would run out of space and everything, and they would have to create more grave sites and stuff. That's something I just started thinking about. Like, where are all these bodies? So I'm starting to now wonder, after a couple of 100 years, do they dig the bodies up and just cremate them or just incinerate them and stuff so they can have more room for like newer bodies and stuff? Like, have you ever really thought about that? Because seriously, there has to be millions of people, billions, buried in the ground. But where are they and stuff? You think there will be endless fields of dead bodies. So I'm really starting to think, after a couple of 100 years, They dig up the corpse, they incinerate the body, and then they, put the dirt back in the land, and so they have more room to like bury folks. That's why I really are starting to think. I've never researched this, but it's just my assumption and everything. Off topic, but whatever. They see the townspeople. There's a lot of people in town. It's about a good 20, 30 people and stuff, and they're talking about stuff. So the kids are spying. That's weird that they're spying on a bunch of people and like it looks like they're in a cult, but that's what you do. And then of course you get caught, as they did. And the people are talking about like they need to feed. They need to feed now, and they want to feed on the new family. When the kids get caught, the people are like, "Oh no, kids, don't run away." No, but of course the kid's gonna run away. It's a great chase through the woods. I don't like how it's sped up. After a while, it's no longer sped up. I hate how it's sped up. I hate when they speed up like the film and stuff. So the kids are getting chased by like grown adults who are pale and blisters on their face. We now get our first confirmation of zombies and stuff. They're all wearing hats. And so the trees are blocking the sunlight, the hats are helping to block the sunlight, so they're not really like getting affected by the sun. So as the kids are running, then they meet the group of kids, and the group of kids now look zombified. And they're all like, "No, please stay. We want you here," and everything. It doesn't hurt. And it's like, it's creepy because it's humans talking about, it doesn't hurt. We're just going to like take your blood and everything. 'Cause that's what they do. They don't eat the bodies. They just drink the people's blood. Then they see Ray, and Ray confesses now he used to live in that house with him and his family moved there. And then, he got ate and everything. And, because these people, they look normal when they feed on like blood. But then after a good while, they start to look like corpses and everything. So the kids are running, they're being chased. They still can't find Petey because he, ran off, like I said. And so like, they're trying to get through the gates of like the cemetery as they're like being chased by like zombies and everything. But then Amanda, she falls behind and they grab her ankle and Josh has to help and save her. Now while this is going on, that one family and that redheaded girl, they're at the Benson's house and they're just waiting for the kids to come back. And it's like a awkward wait, and the dads are kind of getting awkward, and the redheaded girl's father is very odd. So when Amanda and Josh are able to escape, they hightail it in the woods until Amanda gets turned around and she has no idea where she is at. But then she sees some houses, so she knows she's somewhere near the street. So they're running, and zombies are coming out the woodworks from the left and the right, and they have to like dodge them and everything. So then they make it back home, and the parents wonder what the heck is going on. Why are they screaming and running and stuff? And they all like, the townspeople, they want to eat us and everything. Then the redheaded girl and the family, this is what threw me off. They were like, it's the undead. We thought they was all gone, but they came back because there was a chemical explosion. So the family's acting nice and everything. So we're like, oh, okay, I guess you're on their side, but why are you pale and everything? And so they start boarding up the doors and the windows, but the zombies are busting through. And so the mother of the redhead girl's like, it must be that reef thing. And no. Amanda's all like, I think I know why they're trying to come in the house. It's that reef. It must not be good luck. It's bad luck. So they burn it. As soon as that happens, the redheaded girl family, they're smiling and giggling. They're like, oh, that was the only thing that kept you safe in the house. If it wasn't for that stupid reef, we would have ate you long ago. So now the Benson family's like, crap. So they run upstairs. Dad falls behind. Josh has to save the dad and everything. They're fighting zombies. They're running up to the attic and everything. They're boarding up the attic and they're scared. They're all like, they don't understand like what do they want? And of course they want to feed, but they don't understand why the redheaded girl family wanted them to board up the windows if the zombies are just going to eat them. And then Amanda realizes something. It's the sunlight. That's why everybody wore hats. That's why everybody never wanted to play out in the sun. So they start ripping the boards off like the windows and everything. And then we get one of those classic cheesy like goosebumps, like, melting scenes and everything, where everybody acting like they're dancers, like dancing, kind of wiggling to the ground as they're melting and stuff. There's smoke everywhere, and all you see are clothes on the ground. We don't see the bodies, they not even ash. Now, one of the zombie dudes was funny. He busts through the wall and he's all like, "Enough speeches, man. I need to eat." So they make it outside. You know what they say? Screw it. They hop in their car and they hightail it. But the car won't start. And the zombies are still coming and everything, as like the sun is now going down. And so they're in a bad shape. The car won't start, and the sun is going down, and so they're desperately trying to get the car started. And the one dude, the realtor, going up to the window, and the mom just like pulls the window up and everything, and he's trying to haggle with them to get like a cheaper house. But then they finally get the car started and they hightail it out of there. And then it's so funny. The realtor's like, "I'm hungry." Oh boy. So they literally left with just the clothes on their back and none of the stuff in their house. And they just want to go into the next town, but they're hungry. So they're all like, they'll go to the next town and eat. Then on the side of the road, guess who they see? Petey. So they let him in the car and they're listening to the radio. And all of a sudden, like, Petey starts to smell. And then they look at him and he starts to turn gray because he got bit when he was running around in the woods. Now, in the book, Ray tells him, because they find Petey earlier in the book, and Ray tells him, "We was hungry, we couldn't wait, and so we fed on your dog." I guess the TV show didn't want to go that gruesome and stuff. But all in all, man, this is a great episode. That wasn't that spooky. All right, well, I shall talk to y'all later. Bye.